Hello, everybody. This is Mikael from Healthwise Enterprise, the health food store that's located at 3807 East 8 Mile Road, about 3 blocks west of Ryan, between Ryan and DeQuinda. But some people say we are really between Taco Bell and Long John Silver. We're there to service you 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday from 10 to 7. You can give us a call directly at the store at 586-757-DIET. Again, that's 586-757-3438. Our old number still works from way back when we started, back in '89. That would be 313-366-DIET. And then you can reach me directly at a cell phone in case you wanted to share some information with me or get some information, etc. 313-600-8532. Last week, we got into details about the prostrate and things we could do to help that along. And I was kind of saddened when I was looking for situations with women that they didn't have no particular herb or a food like they do for the prostrate. Okay, when women have the urge to go, is have to suffer, other than B12. Okay, hopefully we get into that. But I did run across some articles. I was going to share with you some things you could do, um, and to feel good. Of course, stress plays a major role when it controlling the urinary flow. And when you gotta go, you gotta go. Uh, and they got all these drugs, of course, that have the harmful side effects to them. Um, you got at the end of this, got a list of some things that women could do. Um, okay, but it wasn't no really herb like they do with the supplemento and the prostrate, which has a different herbs in there for the prostrate. And I guess because the men that do the research are men, so they're looking for things that's going to help them and not their woman, which is a doggone shame. And they did mention the Kiko, doing Kikos helps strengthens the urge to go. It strengthens it's an exercise that when you have to go, you squeeze that muscle to hold the urge to go in. And and you do it when you don't have the urge to go, and that muscles get stronger and stronger. That's one technique they mentioned. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. So I'm gonna go through some things that I ran across from Dr. McCullough, and between those two, Dr. McCullough and Dr. Group, I only ran across the Kiko diet, the Kiko exercise, and also the B12. Urinary symptoms like urinary urgency, stress incontinence, nighttime vomiting, dripping, and leaking are common and should not be a cause of embarrassment. New research found urinary urgency was the most common troubling urinary symptoms overall, but individually, urgency incontinence was rated as the most embarrassing problem. Stress incontinence, leaking urine while laughing, coughing, sneezing, etc., is often caused by physical changes resulting from pregnancy, childbirth, or menopause. Urge incontinence, leaking urine after feeling a sudden urge to urinate, may be caused by abnormal nerve signals that causes bladder spasms and may be associated with certain medical conditions like uncontrolled diabetes and hypothyroidism. Now, Dealing with diabetes, they cured diabetes in animals since 1957. Dr. Wiley, who's a vet for 17 years, grew up on a farm. He's seen the results of high doses of vitamins, high doses of minerals for the animals to give them cures. For the past 25 plus years, everybody that's come to Healthwise that had sugar diabetes, I gave them the same formula that Dr. Wallach has been giving to the animals and the people for, I guess, close to 50 years now. And every one of them got great results. Okay. I know the ones that we have seen got great results is filling with the diabetes and the hypothyroidism. Um, it was a thyroid out of balance. We had folks that take that iodine and help get them some relief dealing with the reports that we got back for folks who've taken the iodine. Now, natural treatments such as bladder training and Kegel exercise are often very effective. They often are very effective at remedying troublesome urinary symptoms. Okay, you have to exercise. You have to strengthen those muscles. Okay, and it works. And some of the, I guess, side effects of using the Kegel exercise is really good enhances your lovemaking. Okay, millions of people experience problems with urination, ranging from incontinence and urgency to midnight urination. The severity of these symptoms can be mild or debilitating, causing embarrassing or anxieties that keep people from socializing and enjoying their lives. Yet, no study has ever determined which lower urinary tract symptoms is the most troublesome. Many researchers have simply cited their own area of interest as the most troublesome, shedding little light on which urinary symptoms are in need of the most attention. Researchers from Finland have changed that, however, with a study that gets to the bottom of bladder symptoms among men and women of all ages. The most troubling urinary symptoms, urinary urgency, and urine urgency and incontinence. A survey of 6,000 people in Finland revealed urinary symptoms were common across the board. This include one, the feeling of having to go now, or urinary urgency is nearly 8%. Two, stress incontinence, leaking urine with coughing, exercising, laughing, is nearly 7%. Nighttime urges to go, 6%. Dribbling after urination, post dribbling, is nearly 6%. And leaking urine before reaching a toilet, okay, is urgent incontinence, is 5%. Urinary problems tend to differ among men and women, with women experience more issues with incontinence than men, struggling more often with slow urination or dripping. Overall, they found urinary urgency was the most common troubling symptom, but individually, urinary incontinence was rated as the most embarrassing problem. The study lead researchers Carl Tinkenton, MD, PhD, explained that some of the most overlooked urinary symptoms are actually those that deserve the most attention. One, he quote, in women, stress incontinence is the conditions whose investigations and treatment we should particularly focus on. The symptoms occur approximately 1 in 8 of all women at a level of severity that causes substantial bother. In both genders, rushing to the toilet and waking at night time to time again to urinate was listed as fairly common and troublesome problems. approximately 1 in 12 people stated they had substantial troubles with rushing to the toilet, and 1 in 17 said they had trouble with getting up at night to urinate. According to the study, however, the most common cause of problems among men is post dribbling, which has been usually ignored. A closer look at some of the most common urinary symptoms. You probably heard of the term overactive bladder, which refers to symptoms used as urinary frequency, or urinary urgency, and having urge incontinence or accidents. It has become a buzzword in recent years as pharmaceutical companies began promoting drugs to treat this recently coined condition, uh, urging primary women to seeking help. And you know those drugs. See, I always say that one of the good things about cell phone and information technology, when they give you a drug, use your cell phone to look up, and they usually give you about 10, 20 different side effects. But no, it's about 200 to 500 harmful side effects based on the research that I've run across. Not only are many cases of overactive bladder mild, i.e., not requiring treatment, but the term itself may be problematic, according to 10 men who noted it implies that the cause of the symptoms lie in the bladder, even though this is often not the case. Certain drugs for overactive bladder works by relaxing the bladder muscle to reduce urinary urgency, frequency, and, quote, accidents. This drug may cause side effects from blurred vision, constipation, a faster heartbeat, drowsiness, confusion, and memory loss, while doing nothing to treat the underlying cause of your urinary problems. Common causes of urinary symptoms include stress incontinence, leaking urine while laughing, coughing, sneezing, etc. This is often caused by physical changes resulting from pregnancy, childbirth, and menopause. When they say those things, it's like there's nothing that a woman can do about that. Well, over and over again, we've had this formula Dr. Wallach could come up with called Woman FX. And men swear by it. I do too. Because sometimes a woman is, like I say, going through menopause, maybe angry, out of balance, and they start taking that, and they come. It's just amazing. But it's all diseases caused by lack of minerals and trace minerals. And this formula is loaded with that, plus different herbs specifically geared towards women. So I'm wondering, would that formula help women? Because it definitely helped women through menopause. Would that help with when you got to go, you got to go? I'm going to have to ask that question to the woman who take it. Second part, urge incontinence, leaking urine after feeling a sudden urge to urinate. This may be caused by abnormal nerve signals that cause bladder spasms and may be associated with certain medical conditions like uncontrolled diabetes and hypothyroidism. Other health conditions may also impact your bladder nerves and muscles, leading to urge incontinence. This includes multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, strokes, and injury. Now, we know that MS, those are pertaining to the nervous system. I ran across a study and looking for solutions for this for women about the turmeric. And so here now, I would definitely add the turmeric to your daily diet. The studies was like I ran across a couple of years ago looking out for my moms about dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's, and it was like it's easy to the study says it's easy to find 100 people in America with dementia and Alzheimer's, but it's hard to find any in India because they took turmeric breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the study had people taking 765 milligrams of turmeric. Well, this study that I ran across was referring to when they took cancer and put it in a dish and put the turmeric in there, it killed those cancer cells. So they're saying more studies need to be done dealing with the turmeric and cancer cells. Now, the study I ran across is there's this gray matter or blockages of what we call um, toxins or plaque built up in the brain. The part of the brain that they call it hemoglobin that we use for recall and memory. But it's plaque built up. But the turmeric help breaks down that plaque. So now I'm wondering, would the turmeric help with MS and the Parkinson's disease and the Alzheimer's disease and strokes and other injuries dealing with the brain, along with that B12? So we're coming up with our own formulas listening to God, dealing with women and this overactive bladder, as they call it. Which overactive bladder, this may be caused by abnormal nerves sending signals to your bladder at the wrong time, causing it to leak, or causing it to having the urge for urination, the incontinence or nighttime urination because of the nerves. Now, one of the major vitamins that people are lacking, especially vegetarians, is B12, which is about 8 different Bs. Dr. Group has an excellent one that you take, and it's one of the ones I just love because it just, when you take it with me, it just seemed to just calm right out. Okay. Kind of remind me of when I cut out eggs, dairy, chicken, and fish for 15 years. And then when I put fish back in, it was like my body said, uh-huh. And I found out that the omegas from fish, the omega-3 from fish is different than omega-3 from seeds. So now I take both of them. Now I'm looking at the B12 and its effect on the overactive bladder. Lower urinary tract symptoms in men. Of course, we covered that intensely last week. This may include urinary hesitation, weak streams, dripping and leaking, along with other frequent urinations, especially at night. These symptoms may be caused by an enlarged prostate that affects the flow of the urine. Now, we talked about that for the men. Now, the group got this formula called checks that my experience with it was just phenomenal. Okay. How often is frequent urination? You may be wondering just, okay, I got to, because we on the spot listening to God, but the turmeric and the B vitamin B12, I know both of those pertaining to the brain. And when it comes to the brain, I can't help but give kudos to noni juice. Okay, that wasn't into that. I'm just telling you to write these down. So I'm sharing that with you as it comes from God. You may be wondering just what constitutes an actual urination problem. For starters, if the frequency of urination is bothering some, it wakes you up at night or interferes with your ability to carry out your regular activities, you should seek help. The same holds true for the feeling of urgency or incontinence that is interfering with your daily life. Please do not feel embarrassed, as these problems are inconceivable common and can often be treated using non-drug methods, leading to significant improvements in your quality of life. Because you don't want to be in a meeting. It's very important. You got, oh, stop. I'll be right back. I know for me, I'm driving around. I get to Healthwise and people in the store, and they want to ask me some questions. And I say, oh, wait a minute. Okay, got to go take care of some business down the hall. Then I come back. Well, now, since I've been taking this formula, I keep referring back to it because it's just uh, so it's just a great experience to be relieved of that urgencies. When you just got to go, you got to go. And I want the same for women, but just on having, we just had to do the research, and somebody might want to be um, an example. They're saying urinating 6 to 8 times per day is average. So I always encourage people to drink the water, because the first place the body goes to get water is the colon. How much water you drink is based on your body weight. For every 2 pounds you weigh, you should drink 1 ounce of water. So if you're drinking, like for me, that'd be like 3 quarts. Okay, normal to say you urinate 6 to 8 times is normal. Now, I've been doing that all along. It's just that it was the urge to go was overwhelming, but not now. I'm thinking if women did the Kegel exercises, that urge to go, you'd be in more control. But it was good to know that the average urination is 6 to 8 times per day. You may go more or less often than that, depending on how much water you drink and how active you are. Increased frequency can be caused by an overactive bladder, involuntary contractions, caffeine from coffee, and some teas is rich in caffeine, urinary tract infections. Okay, we've had folks who dealt with that by putting more friendly bacteria, probiotics and prebiotics into the system. And you got cysts. We've had folks who used the Civil Water program, but when it came to the stabilized greens, instead of taking 2 to 4 tablespoons a day, they took it every time McDonald's commercial came on. So we estimate that to be 4 to 8 times a day. But in 1 month, the sister who had the cyst, it was gone. The one that had the tumor, it was gone, because food heals. Guess not. Guess why? God made the food. Benign prostate enlargement. We cover that with the saw pimento and the zinc. This formula has all that in there for the prostate, for the men. Diabetes and certain neurological diseases. Speaking about that, I wish somebody who knows somebody that may know Jesse Jackson, who's in town Monday, got Parkinson's disease. Same as Muhammad Ali, but at least he can still speak. To tell him to take a gallon of that noni juice every day and get back with me. He ain't really got to get back with me. Just take a gallon of that noni juice every day. And if that's too much for him, then the large noni max is 750 milliliters, 4 times stronger than the original noni. A bottle of that every day. Just share that on the airwaves so somebody can get that information to Jesse Jackson. If he want to call me directly, I'd be honored. I give him a case, his first case. After that, you got to be on your own, bro. He might not let me use it. Because interesting, just a little segue here about Jackson. Monday, when my wife and I went to go see him, earlier that day, I was working. And a lady came in and was just so thankful for Jesse Jackson for her son because he helped him get in college and get through college, and now he's graduated and he's has passed it forward and helping other folks. That's what this is about. Each one teach one, passing the torch, playing it forward. And he had direct impact on this lady's whole family. It's amazing. So I know there's always pros and cons about people and all that, but I learned a long time ago, sitting in meditation, listening to God, that God made everybody that you see. They may have come through their parents, but God made them. And God don't make no junk. They may not even realize their loving spirit, but when they quote, they will realize it. Back to this. It is important that you urinate when you feel the urge, except if you're undergoing bladder training, as discussed below. That's the Keegan exercise. Okay. See, even when you urinate, instead of letting it all out, let it out and hold it for, say, 5 seconds. Whatever you lay it to be 10 seconds if you want to. Let it go. Hold it. Let it go. Now, you could do that while you're urinating. That zeroes in on the key muscles. And you can do it anytime during the day while you're sitting down, riding the bus, riding the car. It's kind of hard to do it while you're riding a bicycle, but it strengthens those muscles, and it works. Ordinary delaying urination can cause bladder overextension, overstretching, okay? A stinky, like overstretching a stinky such that it can become bounce back. You may habitarily postpone urination if you find bathroom breaks inconvenient at work. If you have a disease known as shy bladder, a bashful bladder, tinkle terror, or peer anxiety, the fear of urinating in the presence of others, 7% of the public suffer from this condition. Man, he got some names for some folks. 6 methods of treating urinary symptoms. If you struggle with urinary symptoms that are interfering with your life, the following methods can be very effective. 1, what we've been talking about over and over again, the Keegan. More women than men might be familiar with this term. A Keegan squeeze is performed by drawing your lower pelvic muscles up and holding them up high and tight. For men who aren't familiar with that term, it's similar to trying to stop urination in the middle of the flow. This can help to strengthen the muscles that help you hold in and control the flow of urine. The Keegan can also help you suppress the need to urinate if you have trouble with frequencies. I've known it, heard about it some 30 years ago. It's very effective in other areas in your life. 2, a bladder diary. This will help you become familiar with your bathroom habits so you can identify a pattern. It may help you develop a plan to visit the bathroom at time intervals to avoid accidents, as well as help you strategically increase time between bathroom trips as you can gain control. That was called a bladder diary. It's the times, and it may be too much, but if you want to measure how much, see, I know before I started taking that Prote- Protex from Global Healing, my urine flow was 8 ounces. Since I've been taking it, it's now 16 ounces. That's probably a little more information, but I like to know. And so I do unordinary things. Bladder training. The bladder diary is often one step of the bladder training, which involves visiting the restroom according to a fixed schedule. When you feel the need to urinate before a scheduled visit, practice kicking or relaxation exercise like deep breathing to suppress the urge. Huh. So you got the kicking exercise where you control the urge to go, and you got the deep breathing pertaining to the nervous system, because that deep breathing takes you into a real calm state. Orthopedic manipulative treatment or chiropractic adjustments. That's number 4. Research has shown that orthopedic manipulative treatment provide virtually the same therapeutic effects as the pelvic floor muscle training, the kicking, in women with lower urinary tract disorders. So you can go to the doctor, you can go to the chiropractor, or you can practice the kicking exercise yourself. Number 5, limiting fluids at certain times of the day. If you're getting up during the night to urinate, stop drinking 3 or 4 hours before bedtime. Coffee, tea, and alcohol should also be restricted. I had to tell you about the alcohol because it dehydrates your body. So I always tell my nieces and nephews before they start drinking, if you're going to drink a bottle of beer, a shot, wine, drink your glass of water. Enlarged prostate for men. If you believe in enlarged prostate is causing your urinary symptoms, read these tips for maintaining a healthy prostate, which we covered intensively last week. If you only experience occasional incontinence, wearing a thin absorption pad may help give you confidence and allow you to go about your daily schedule without fear of embarrassment. Now, we do carry those pads. They call them liners. And these are the ones that don't have any chemicals in it. Matter of fact, it has herbs in it to help strengthen, I should say, based on the research, they have herbs in these urinary pads. They even talked about on this radio station called the Cherish pads, but they also have liners for this condition that has the same philosophy of not putting poisons in women. But ideally, try the safe options above so that you can fully recover. Remember, this is a very common problem that can often be effectively treated naturally. As the National Kidney and Disease Information Clearinghouse says, many women are afraid to mention their problem. The urge, you gotta go, you gotta go. They may have urinary incontinence that can improve with treatment, but remain silent sufferers and resort to wearing absorption undergarments or diapers. This practice is unfortunate because diapering can lead to diminished self-esteem, as well as skin irritations and sores. If you are relying on diapers to manage your incontinence, you and your family should discuss with your doctor the possible effectiveness of treatments such as time, voiding, and pelvic muscle exercise. It's so key, so key. Um, and this, so we got the pelvic exercise, which is called the Keegan. You got the urinary diary, how much water you drink. I would put that in there. Um, Say how long is urination? Is it 1 second, 2 seconds? Um, you put that in your book, and what time you drink. So you know some people have bowel transit time. You want to know what your urinary transit time is. These are all techniques for a woman right now. Now, in talking about this and doing other research, I would add the turmeric, the B12, even the noni into your daily diet to give you more control. That I give God the kudos for that one, because while I was talking to you, those three items came up. Now, um, B12 deficiency symptoms, everything you need to know. Okay. Now, and here it gave you it's this there was some signs here. Here we go. That I wanted to point out. Signs and symptoms of B12 deficiency by Dr. Group. Knowing some of the common signs and symptoms, mild and severe, B12 deficiency can help inform us on how to best prevent or avoid it. Since it has taken years to manifest a clinical deficiencies as measured by blood testing, it is important to note that signs can remain silent for some time as bodily B12 levels are slowly depleted. A few that you may or may not notice outwardly include the bone marrow, ability to manufacture red blood cells, neurological impairment such as depression, confusion, disorientation, schizophrenia, ADHD, B12 deficiency is a sign God talking to you. So we got these great bodies given to us by God, but it didn't come in the owner's manual. I believe it did if you sit down and be still, what we call meditation, listening to God. Memory loss is a sign of B12 depletion. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, brain fog, cognitive decline, brain shrinkage, all is signs of B12 deficiency. See, B12, if it's interesting, can only be found in red meat. And so, and the other source is supplementation. Now, the group got a real good, tastes good B12 liquid, and you put it up under your tongue and let it sit there a couple minutes. Then you swallow it. It ducks underneath the tongue that takes it right into your blood system. Another sign of B12 deficiency is increased fatigue, just tired. sexual dysfunctions, including low libido, low sperm count, ED, erectile dysfunction, low sex hormones levels, B12 deficiency sign. Interesting. Tingling sensations in your hands, your feet, your limbs. That's another B12 deficiency sign. See, God gave us these signs, but nobody told us what those signs are. Now we're finding out. Spinal cord, method, spinal cord, and method search degeneration, insomnia, can't sleep, could be a sign of vitamin B12 deficiency. Bowel and urinary incontinence could be a sign of B12 deficiency. Itchy skin is another. So we did what we could. So we found 5 techniques that I really like of all this research for women who have the urge when you got to go, you got to go. The Keegan exercise, the urinary diary, the B12 deficiency, the turmeric, and the noni. Now, B12, Dr. Group pointed that out. Turmeric and the noni is just give credit for that for God. Because to me, it is whatever disease is out there, God already knew ahead of time. He just put the solutions on the earth. What we had to do is find them, discover them, and start using them. Because he didn't give us this great body that Adam lived to be 900, Methuselah was 900 and something. There's a bunch of folks that lived over 500 that was in the Bible. You can put in there folks' age way up past 100. And so to design a body that at 50, 60, 70 that's having urinary challenges let us know, to me, that we had bought a new car and we kept the foot to the pedal to the metal all the time. Had the engine running at peak performance level. And then it's designed to last, what is it, 1,000,000 miles, but it's be happy if we get to 50,000 miles, because we didn't burn the engine out. I thank God that when I was 18, I had this vision in the kitchen in my parents' house and said, don't eat pork for a week. And I did, and I felt so much better. So the question came to me, what else have this society told me that was food to eat that was good that really wasn't? And that was when I was 18, 1968. I just want to thank God that at 70, which I'll be in 2 days, I'm having just little bits of health challenge. And that's not to brag, but that's just to let you know that the things we talk about at Healthwise, the things we exercise, the things that we do, let us know that if one person can do it, then another person can do it, and another person can do it, and another person can do it. I know I stand on the shoulders of my forefathers, ancestors, who made it a way for us to be on the other side of 8 Mile, to be on 8 Mile period. And basically, since I started this business in '89, I always had a business on 8 Mile. It's amazing. Not all in the same location. This is the one, two, three, fourth, fifth location. I should say six because the first one was the trunk of my car back in '85. So maybe the seventh because it'd be um, a close family members' basements. But we persevered, took the path that a lot of folks don't take. The main thing is trusting in God. Once we know that God got a solution for us for whatever disease that's out there, because it's just a dis-ease. God wants us to be easy, wants us to be happy. And it's interesting that that is part of the healing, is laughing, is smiling, and hugging. It feeds the master system in our body called the endocannabinoid system. The hemp oil, the full hemp plant, the oil, is one of the foods that feed the endocannabinoid system. And so God has not forsaken us. We had to do the work. Got to go to work. We got to find out what works. We got to do the Keegan exercise. We got to get a notebook and write down when we take water, how much we take and how much, and when it comes out. If it's 1 second, 10 seconds, to get control. We are in control. The main thing I found out over all these years is the mindset, the belief system, the BS. If you believe you're going to get healthy, the people that come to Healthwise that got that healing spirit, they always get healthy. And the people that come out where they're defeated, that they didn't start listening to the lies, and this guy called himself a doctor and been to school for 12 years, who don't study nutrition, how you going to be a doctor, study the body, and don't study nutrition? How food, which has been ancient time, they've been telling us that food heals, and you don't take the time out to study the effects of food on your body. But anyway, they call themselves doctors. Just letting you know, they doing the best they can. It's up to us to do the research, us to get the results, and us to share the results with other folks. That's what our ancestors have done for us. Because the shoulders I'm standing on, Dr. Group, Dr. McCullough, Dr. Wallach, Dick Gregory, well, he's an ancestor now. These are the folks that they standing on their ancestors' shoulders. And it's a lot, and more people are becoming conscious of this innate power we call God or the universe, and believing in God's power. I know I do wholeheartedly, because he's given me evidence, unbelievable evidence, that God is alive and well and all up in my life, all up in my mix. I mean, I listen to people like Joel Osteen and Abraham Hicks and a bunch of other ones out there. My sister, God bless her soul, she told me she got over 500, 1,000 books, and she has read every one of them. She's cut the television off and opened up a book and started hearing directly from her ancestors and forefathers. Because there's been a lot of rebels out there who's gone against the system. They say one monkey don't stop the show, but there's been one person who has made a difference in millions of people's lives. Like Martin Luther King has said, one of the quotes I remember, if you can just help just one somebody, then your life has not been in vain. So the information we share with you here at the Healthwise Show, we can't encourage you enough to share with other folks. That's why we have over 200 flyers and brochures that we just give away. And people say, can I make copies of it? Please do. Because we changed the nation before cell phones was even out. And we did it with flyers, posters, newspapers, magazines that we controlled. We controlled the media, this WHPR radio station. We using this as an avenue to stop this onslaught of poison and it's in the air and the water and the food. I mean, getting some food grade hyperoxide is important. Somebody sent me a picture yesterday about these chickens. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. Anyway, they're pumping these chickens out with poison. Soaking the chickens in this food grade hyperoxide at 3%, from what I've seen, help pulls those poisons out. So, once again, I want to thank God for everything in my life. I want to thank my wife for being there for me. And I want to thank all my family who encouraged me one way or another. And then finally, but not the last, is you, my Healthwise family. You are so encouraging. Whenever I go, my wife said I can't go nowhere. But you are so encouraging. It's truly each one teach one. And each one hopefully getting 5 hugs a day. More if you can squeeze them in. It's so healing. God has not forsaken us. So thank you for tuning in and coming by Healthwise at 3807 East 8 Mile and give us a call at 366-DIET and 586-757-DIET. Peace and love, y'all.